Hello poker friends, Navonod on No Limit Hold'em. I know it's been a while since I put a video out, or at least a serious or semi-serious, strategically relevant poker video. So I thought I would just do a session, or maybe even just play a game, a match. We'll see where it goes. Just to put something out. I'm just gonna kind of play and think my way through this stuff out loud. Jack 9 offsuit, I think we have to defend even against a 3x open. It would be a little closer if we knew that villain was varying his bet sizes and we could kind of weight his range towards stronger hands when he 3x's. Maybe we could think about doing something other than calling with Jack 9, but against this first open, the first hand, I think we just have to flat call and go from there. Probably, let's see. So not a good card to barrel his draws on. I think this is a close spot between I think value betting would be probably the most standard thing. But I think given the number of draws that bricked off, well, then again, 5-6 made a pair. This is really close, but let's check to induce, see if we can either squeeze, get him to bluff his busted draws. Maybe he'll go for thin value with a 6 or a 2. Yeah, so maybe if we would have bet real small, we could have got a call from a pair of 2s, but probably we weren't going to get much more than that. So checking and calling to induce bluffs with his air and busted draws, I think, especially if we think he's going to do things like bet a 2 there, makes the most sense. So far so good. I think we picked up just enough value to shut down the bluffing option and just hope to get this to showdown. Queen's an interesting card. I think I always lose this pot now because if he's got an ace, he's going to check and call, and if he's got a queen, he's going to bet, and I'm going to have to fold. So I think I just, I mean, the only thing I would be folding out that makes any sense for him to have that was legitimately playing to do something other than bluff. Like, he's only got 6s and aces, and I beat the 6s, and he's not going to fold the aces. Okay, I guess we could have maybe got him off a chop. Which actually, you know, I probably should have put that into his range. That actually makes sense based on what we know about villain. Which isn't much, but I think c-betting, planning to barrel, is probably just barely better than checking and calling. I don't think we're going to be going for 3 streets so often. I'd be taking like a bet check or a bet check bet or bet check call line, but I kind of think that checking back might be good against this player because he has shown a willingness to fire bluffs and bet too thinly for value, so checking back might induce him to bet with his air, or bet some kind of like a mediocre hand like an 8 of some sort for value. And also we kind of under rep our jacks a little bit, so we might be able to get 2 streets on turns and rivers more easily, although the 2 on the turn obviously wasn't the greatest thing. I mean, if I would have known that the 2 was coming on the turn, I would have bet the flop, but obviously we can't know that. King 5 I would normally call against the min raise, but against 3 times the big blind open raises, I think we can fold King 5 offsuit. We've just got slam dunk value here. So let's go 3/4 pot. There's a textured board. We can beat like everything. Not everything. So he check min raises. I think he's probably got enough draws that we can raise and get it in. You know, we're going to be beat some of the time, but I don't think there's much we can do about it. I mean, sevens do make a lot of sense, but we block sevens. So if he's got them, he's just got them. I mean, there's literally one combo of pocket sevens left in the deck, and that was like the only hand that would raise flop that beat us and makes sense and is consistent with all of his play. The other hands that beat us, like top two and top set and second set on that last board, would have tried to get it in pre-flop. So yeah, the only hand we were legitimately worried about would have been like queen seven suited or pocket sevens exactly. Oh, I'm sorry, we beat. Yeah, so just the sevens. Just the sevens. So that's just an unfortunate, really bad luck situation, I think. Yeah, I think we just have to start trying to build a pot here. It's kind of a bad card for us trying to get value, so I think I'm going to bet a little bit smaller than I'd like to, hoping to get something like a 9 or a 6, maybe something like ace-5 to pay me off. Standard open. Normally we're going to be folding queen 7 to a 3-bet, but that's such a small 3-bet. We're in position. I don't love it, but I think we're going to call. Just hope good things happen on the flop. Good things did not happen. With 31 big blinds, I think we 3-bet. Holy cow, 4x, huh? Yeah, I guess we 3-bet. Get it in. We 3-bet and begrudgingly get it in. Just trying to set up a nice jam on pretty much all flops. We're ahead, so that's good. Alright. He called the pot size jam with 2 overcards and a gut shot with jack high. Probably debatable. Probably pretty optional to open raise to 4 times the big blind against a shorter stack with, you know, kind of small effective stacks, not real deep, with jack 10 offs here. I've talked about this a lot in the past, but in case you haven't seen those videos, in general, I think when people open limp, at least, specifically the first time a player makes an open limp from the button after they have been doing a lot of open raising, they're going to be extremely imbalanced. Even players that will eventually balance a limping range, if it comes to it, will start out having an imbalanced limping range. You're not going to see somebody raising a bunch of buttons, pick up aces, and just say, hey, I'm going to limp these. They're going to be like, well, I've been raising these, so I'm going to continue just raising with my aces. But people that have, like, a guy that can open limp some buttons might be tempted to open limp a crappy hand and justify it by saying, well, if he starts beating me up over this, I will just balance my range. And that may end up being the case, but the first time somebody limps a button, it's very rarely going to be balanced. Yeah, if he would have bet, I think, boy, I just don't know what we're getting value from. 5x now beats us. A lot of his 9s will beat us and not fold. His 2s will fold. We don't want to get, I think we just have to check this back. I doubt he's paying us off with king high. I think we're just going to check and call once. God. Yeah. I think we don't have to call here because we're going to get to this flop with hands that perform a lot better than just bottom pair that's folding on almost all turns. Yeah, I mean, even like the ace of diamonds won't be the best thing. Even another 2 wouldn't guarantee victory. I think when he makes a pot-sized bet, we will have plenty of stronger hands than a pair of 2s, so we don't have to worry about being exploited by folding there, because we're going to hit that flop a lot. Much harder than the bottom pair. Tiny little 3-bet, obviously we're going to call it. It looks a little trappy, but what are we going to do? Okay, so when players 3-bet pre-flop and then check, it's usually that they have some kind of showdown value that they're planning on checking and calling with, or they have a trap that they're planning on checking and raising with. I don't want to bet against either of those, so I think I'm just going to take one off and play some turns. Well, yeah, I think at this point we can make a small bet here and play some rivers. Just trying to fold out like his pocket 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s that he might have clicked it back with. It's hard to imagine what he... I mean, there's really no hands that it makes sense to click back with, but I think some players will do that. And if we know that he clicked back as a 3-bet, and we do, and we know that he checked this flop, and we do, it can make a lot of sense for that to be a small pocket pair. And I think he's got enough small pocket pairs and bricked draws that we can bet pot sized and get enough folds to justify the bet. I don't think that was a slam dunk bluff, because many of the hands that he's folding we beat anyway, so we can't be... Gotta be careful to not get too far ahead of ourselves thinking that we necessarily made the right bluff in the right spot at the right time for the right size just because he folded, because a lot of the hands he folded were probably like, I don't know, 7-6 of diamonds or whatever flush draw combos that weren't pairs. You know, stuff we already beat. In other words, like, we weren't targeting enough hands to be super excited. Like, there weren't enough, like, I think there were just enough hands that we beat and that would fold to justify the bet, and only by going bet does the line even make sense. Basically, we're just trying to fold him off of his pocket pairs and not much more. I mean, he's going to fold a lot of other stuff, but again, we beat a lot of what else he would have folded. You don't win extra money for having the best hand when your opponent folds. Sounds obvious, but it actually is a really important strategic concept. Not in love with this spot, but I don't think there's much we can do about it. We 3-bet, he calls. He's going to have draws. He's going to have ace-10 type stuff, pocket 9s, jacks. I think we're probably beat a good chunk of the time, but not enough to fold. You know, definitely with the pot odds, I mean, if he's got it, again, if he's got it, then he's just got it. Can't fold queens there. And, you know, the times where he flips over a flush draw, we had the queen of hearts, so that's even, makes it just that much better. So he's got, yeah, yeah, I think our options were really jamming, folding, or limping. I think I waited too long to do either jam or limp. I think if I limp, it maybe looks weak that I time bank limped and he jams too much, and if I jam, that maybe looks weak that I tanked and jammed and he calls us a little too late. This is really, really close in my opinion. Yeah, I think he, you know, just because of this, the other stuff that we've seen him get aggressive with, I think he could easily be doing this with like Jack-10 suited or Queen-Jack, and even Ace-6, we probably have a call against. Again, not in love with it, but I mean, that was basically a flip. He had like a little bit the best of it, but there was a little bit of pot odds, and it was probably an okay call. I mean, even if his hand was exactly ace-6, if we would have known it. I mean, if I would have known his hand, I probably would have folded, because I think my playing edge is enough to justify it, but I bet you it's at least a break-even call knowing his exact hole cards. I just think I can do a bit better than break-even on average. And I do think we can start open limping some buttons now. And, you know, if I'd have had aces, I would not have done that. Which is an imbalance, and if he knows about those types of imbalances, he definitely can exploit me there. When he open limps, and we've got about 20 big blinds, I think raising and getting jammed on would be awful, but I think that's the play. If he limp shoves, it's going to be pretty gross. Clobbers his range, does okay things to my range. So I think we're basically then just going to play our hand. Bottom pair is a good bluff catcher, so we're going to check. If he bets, we're going to call. We turn the ace, which not only improves us a hell of a lot, but it also improves a lot of his hands to top pair status and or gut shots. Really, or gut shots, probably. Pocket sevens for between 10 and 20 bigs, I think, should pretty well always be an open jam, and that's an example of why. He's going to call with like maybe all of his aces, and if he calls with all of his pairs, then yeah, it's just a value jam. So there you have it. That was we'll play one more. Alright, and if you want to see the continuation of this, you'll have to wait for it in the next video, because I'm not going to commentate this time. That's just really difficult to do. So I think what I'll do is just play this out without the commentary, and then if I decide to post it, I'll add the commentary later. I'll have it recorded. Let me know if you want to see this rematch. Yeah, we'll do it that way. If anybody requests the rematch, we will show the rematch.